compared to these areas that you have traveled and seen, first, do we have an ecosystem like startup ecosystem in Sri Lanka? Because I know certain institutions was trying to push it. I don't want you to evaluate that whole programs, but I'm asking, comparatively, do we have the same environment, or there's a lot that we need to improve? If so, what are those, and what are your recommendations, kind of thing, Chalinda?
Personally, having kind of experienced what's happening, I don't believe we have an ecosystem. I jokingly say this at certain meetings. Now I'm saying it on air, so I don't know how it will go, but I'm okay. I say that we don't have an ecosystem, we have an ecosystem, right? You have a few players who have their whole ego, and that becomes a problem. But that is what Sri Lanka is, right? Sri Lanka is a very my reading and learning after 15 years is that it's a very hierarchical society, right? It's not so much about what I know and what I can contribute, or what you know and what contribute. It's who are your parents?
Connection driven.
Yeah, who are your parents? Where you do school? A lot of these things really still matter. It's declining. Thankfully, it's declining, but it still plays a big role. And in an environment like that, it's very, because see, entrepreneurship, fundamentally entrepreneurship is a meritocratic process, right? So it will only thrive in a very meritocratic society. That's why it thrives in US or Silicon Valley or even Singapore for that matter, because it's a meritocratic society. In entrepreneurship or startup cultures, ecosystems cannot thrive in countries where it's very, very rigid. You gotta do it, as I say, there's a certain pecking order and so on, right? I think here a lot has improved. I think the biggest thing, because I remember when I started this, late 2009, 2010, nobody wanted to start companies. Everybody wanted to get a job.
Yes.
Whether it's the government or the private sector. Because we never grew up with all of these things, right? We had a war, and we either try to leave the country or you try to get a job.
Yes.
And now it's very different. Now everybody wants to. You can also do that as well, right?
Sure.
So a lot of that has improved, but we have a long way to go.
Okay.